Welcome to the Off Tackle with John Fina show on the Overreaction Sports Network.
What is going on, everybody? I am the Big O, Jerry Ostrowski. This is the Sahlen's Off Tackle Show with John Fina. You're listening and watching the Overreaction Buffalo Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. And, hey, we're excited to be here filling in for Joe Miller tonight. We had a big win this weekend, 30-10 over the New York Jets. Appreciate you tuning in. We're going to talk about that game. John's going to break down some of his plays that he saw, explain some things, some different positions, some stuff guys did well. Don't know, John. You didn't let me in. Is it all good stuff, or is there some bad stuff as well?
It's a celebratory pod, Jerry-O, for the defense rebounding after somewhat dismal performance against Baltimore. So this is going to be celebratory. This is going to be all positive. Can you handle that?
Oh, I can handle positive. I mean, it's hard to be negative about this game. I don't think there is any, there's, people have their up arrows and down arrows, their studs and duds, whatever you want to call it. Not really sure that you can find somebody in this game that didn't perform at least good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And, one thing about this game with the Bills and the Jets is just like a bloody street brawl every time we play them. So when that thing started sailing through and it just looked like the Jets weren't going to be able to tie their own shoes, there was a lot of relief, right? I mean, just too many of these Bills-Jets games, just bruised, bloodied, and bewildered at the end. And, we eke out a victory or we lose a close one. So, great feeling of relief for everybody, I'm sure. Do you get that same feeling when we play the Jets?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's always been that way. It's always a battle. And this is honestly 30-10 over the Jets. I mean, recently we've had some one-sided games, but most of the time they're very highly competitive. Not too long ago, their savior of a quarterback tore his Achilles tendon, and we still didn't win that game. So obviously, this matchup is always usually comes down to the last play. Now, thankfully, it didn't this weekend. I thought the Bills did a great job adjusting on defense. Great performance by them. I know you're going to talk about that. I thought the offensive line did some really cool things. They changed up some blocking schemes, added some stuff to combat against that defensive front that the Jets have. Had some success there. James Cook, wonderful game. So looking forward to getting into the film. And always, folks, we appreciate you when you're in the comments. We also appreciate if you like and subscribe to the show. Tell your friends, review it, all those good things. It helps us out here at the Sahlen's Off Tackle Show with John Fina. And just happy to be here, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pivot, right? I mean, I know everybody doesn't need to know this because it is the Sahlen's Off Tackle Show, but Sahlen's is a 5-generation family business. The meatpacking company was founded in 1869 as a family business and continues to be operated by the Sahlen family today. Headquartered in Buffalo, New York, Sahlen's products have grown from Western New York's favorite hot dogs to having our hot dogs and deli meats available across the country in 35 states, Jerry, 35, including probably Oklahoma. And if they're not at a local retailer in Oklahoma, Jerry can order them online just like you can if you go to Sahlen.com for highest quality hot dogs and deli meats. Just remember, support your Buffalo hot dog desires, right, Jerry? Summer's not over yet. Put a few dogs, and if the weather's bad, heck, brown them up in a pan. Have a nice little pan dog. Enjoy Sahlen's Off Tackle Show with John Fina. Thank you, Sahlen's. Jerry, I just got to tell you, man, I'm sitting in a bar in New Orleans and watching this game with a whole bunch of, and it was great because you get around, you mingle with all these people, and no real Bills fans are probably from New Orleans. So, this guy lived in this area of Buffalo, and then why did they end up moving here? And there was a couple on their honeymoon. And, it was a riot. We all went outside, a lot of people to smoke cigarettes at halftime, not me. And I was like, what is that smell? And there's a truck parked on the curb, Jerry, with a big 5-gallon bucket in there with this horrible smell. And I'm like, what is that? Oh, they're fermenting gator bait. So they've got a bucket of rotting fish that they're trying to they bring out to the swamp to get the gators to come in so they can hunt gators. And I was like, I'm out. I ain't never moving.
That actually sounds like it's quite a bit of fun, actually. I could do a little bit of gator hunting. That'd be fun.
Yeah, man, you come away with some boots, a belt, maybe a nice handbag for your wife. Look, honey, I went down to New Orleans. I'm bringing you home a gator.
What do you? That reminds me.
don't
What do you
know
make of? What do you make of this? You make a brooch, a scarf, a pterodactyl.
a pterodactyl.
John,
Jerry
let's get
with
into
the
this though,
airplane.
man.
Yeah.
With the
Oh, you know
airplane.
what? That was an airplane reference, and we're talking about the Jets. So the focus of this pod, and this, there's highlights in here of Joey Bosa, and I thought I'd bring it up because everybody's, stomping their feet about what a great game he had. And I'm going to show you some plays that are terrific from the perspective of Jerry and I, and then, obviously one great play, but just some of the varied skill set that Bosa brings to the table. So the first one, very first play, offensive play of the game, or defensive play of the game, I should say. Here's Bosa, and I'll let it run. I'm adding this to the stage if it pops up in time. Basically, it's the first play of the game. They want to put a tight end on the young man, and it is just no doing. All right, so let's run it back here. Joey Bosa on the right side of your screen. They want to block him with a tight end, which is a huge mistake. He extends on the tight end, makes the running back run the hump. Matt Milano could have done a little better job with the tackle. But, Jerry, talk us through here. I'm going to pause it. He almost gets off the ball a little late, but he gets a really good extension on him. And my system isn't working very well here. StreamYard's a little slow. Back this up for you. But here at the point of attack, tell us how important you think this is, where he gets into this tight end right about here.
Right. So what you have to understand is what call is made and what type of technique is Bosa getting ready to run here. So I would imagine that Joey has C gap in this look. And you see Terrell Bernard, he's got this open gap to his backside, which would be A gap, and he's probably reading A gap to B gap. And I would imagine Milano is reading B gap to D gap. So Milano more than likely is one of the contained players. Bosa is playing that C gap. So you just have to kind of understand how these guys all fit together. When a defense is called and the defense is run against a formation, everybody on that defense is responsible for a gap. That's what the term gap sound means. And the thing about Joey is, and John's bringing this up in this point here, he's technique-wise and gap integrity-wise, he's as good as they come in the NFL. And this is another example of that.
Right. So we talk about on offense and defense, Jerry, about establishing the line of scrimmage on the other guy's side of the ball. Well, the Jets make a mistake on the first play of the game, lining up Joey against a tight end here. You can see he's almost a little bit late off the ball, but what he does, fans of the Overreaction podcast, is he gets great extension. And with that extension, he makes the tight end actually go backward, and that forces the ball carrier to bounce, and that gives Matt Milano a chance to flank him and run him out of bounds. Of course, we'd like to see Matt make that tackle earlier, but it really disrupts the play. That is our first clip. And again, we're talking about all the great things Joey Bosa can do. A lot of times, people get, oh, he's a pass rusher. He's a pass rusher. Jerry has said so many times, this is a 3-down player. And I want to give you an example of that. Our next play, and this is the one everybody's going to love, but there's an aspect to this play that people really aren't talking about. This is Joey's strip sack. And, this is a true effort play, and this is a truly intelligent play by Joey Bosa. And the reason I'm going to say that, and if you watch this, Joey's on the left of your screen outside the tackle. The scramble starts. It's a bootleg. Joey pursues. Quarterback evades one tackler, but because of his active pursuit, he's able to make up the ground. And then he takes this opportunity. People talk about creating turnovers. And he realizes at this point, when he's in pursuit, that there is nowhere the quarterback is going. So his thought process goes from, I'm going to make a tackle, to I'm going to make a play on the ball. And so, Jerry, I'm going to run it back, give you the full look.
And the thing about this
bootleg
is
to the offense's left.
And when you watch this and you have the pursuit out of Bosa and he never gives up on the play, the thing that's interesting, and let it play, John, when you get to the point where you had it a minute ago where you stopped it, when the quarterback was making a decision to run or not. Right about, they keep going. Yeah, it is lagging a little bit tonight. Right there. Okay, if you watch this, this is taught technique out of the defense. If you watch how this whole thing, and I'm sitting here pointing like people can see me point. You've got Milano down the middle. You've got Epinesa on one side of them, and now you've got Bosa pursuing on the other side of them. They're creating a triangle, and it's a triangular effect. So you've got all points covered of this ball carrier. And like John said, with Milano in position and others in position to make this tackle, they're taught in practice, and they do drills with this. The next guy coming in, especially from behind because he can't see him, needs to punch the ball out violently. That's his job, and Bosa does this as well. So, again, just another heads-up play by a vet that understands the game of football, knows how to play, and his technique sound is anybody we've seen play that position in quite some time.
Yeah, and I apologize to all of our viewers out there. We are experiencing a pretty bad lag right now, but you go from I have to make this tackle to I'm going to try and get the ball out. And that's just an excellent play. And I think what I've talked about, Jerry's talked about quite a bit, is it's fun to have these great players like Rousseau, Epinesa, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones. But what I'm excited about is the opportunity to change the game in the first and second quarter, right? Not wait till, our offense puts us ahead and then we get either what might people call, garbage sacks or, stat padding sacks. So this is really exciting to see.
And I think the thing
Go ahead, Jerry.
And I think the thing that the Bills did so well this past weekend was with Ed Oliver out, they said, okay, they went and they made a bit of an adjustment. They took Daquan Jones from the 1 technique, moved him to the 3 technique, and put in Deion Walker at the 1. And then they also used Loge at the 1 technique and basically said, okay, we are going to control both A gaps and both B gaps. I don't need my guys to be super flashy, make the plays that are there. Just, do your job, control the offensive linemen, try to keep them off of our linebackers, and let these other guys make plays. And I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in that we need penetration, we need this, we need that. If they just play the gap that they're supposed to be in and do it well, really good things happen. And I think that's what you saw out of this game this weekend. The Bills did move around a little bit. They lined up in 2-2 techniques, which is head up on the guards and moved. They did some different looks on defense. But honestly, most of this was your basic, I'm playing B, you're playing A. We're going to lock up the middle and let guys go. And when they do that, it allows the other guys to make plays. So it's not fancy, but it's really, really effective. And I wish we would do more of that as the season goes along.
No, I totally agree. And the whole point of being aggressive and having gap control, and then you get the linebackers aggressive coming up and filling, you want to affect the runner, the ball carrier nearer to the line of scrimmage. And when you're sitting back waiting, you let these guys, especially the big fella from last week, get up a little head of steam. We talked about, do you have the personnel to do this? Do you have the philosophy to do that? And I think, I like to see a smart blend of everything. So this particular clip, Joey Bosa's on the offensive left side of our screen here. And we haven't seen a ton of wrinkles in the Bills defense where you see some twists and games to stop the run. Well, this is a great example. I'm going to run this for you all. And Jerry in particular, keep your eyes on Joey Bosa on the left side. One more time. Inside move, support from the outside.
Now, why that was called, if John Fina was playing left tackle, I'll give you a heads up. If John Fina was playing left tackle and I was playing left guard, he would be screaming at me, wide, 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 or out, 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 or fire, 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 because the Bills by alignment are kind of giving this away. They've got Christian Benford up on the end of the line of scrimmage. So you're obviously, we talked about it earlier, you got to have gap integrity, right? You're not putting 2 guys in the same gap. So somebody's got to change. So either Benford's going to bail and Joey's going to stay outside, or Joey's going to cross face and come into B gap, which he does, and Benford's going to play C. So this is kind of a tell if you're paying attention as far as offensive line goes. And the other thing is this left tackle. The other thing John would not do is, knowing that his left guard is blocking with the center, would be wildly go outside and allow, Joey Bosa to cross his face. But this is part of the game that we play in football.
That's
who's
right.
moving. If it was like magnetic football and you just lined everybody up and turned it on, it'd be a little bit different. And it damn sure wouldn't be as fun or as entertaining as it is now. But yeah, so really good play by the Bills. I thought Babbage did a good job of inserting those corners in the run game quite a bit throughout the game.
Yeah, so what Jerry's talking about here, everybody, is when you get up to that line of scrimmage as the left tackle, the guard might not be able to see it, right? So I'm looking outside with my left eye, a lot of my periphery, and I see the cornerback, starting to creep to the line of scrimmage. In my mind, I'm thinking creeper, and I know that he's got outside contained. Now the guy in front of me can do anything he wants, so the tackle should be taking more of a measured step. And even if you look at Bosa's stance, he's aiming in. He's not playing a square set here. So You got to assume that he's going to come inside. The tackle should be taking about a 3 to 4 inch step. And then that right leg should be driving upfield rather than coming all the way across his body like you see in this clip. But speaking to what Joey Bosa does here, he's got his shoulders entirely turned to the sideline, but he throttles down right about here and he rips. And he's able to right his body and start coming up field straight. So in the event that our crashing corner doesn't make the play, Joey is such a quality athlete that he's in a position now where if the running back turns up, Joey's also going to be able to make that tackle. We didn't need him there because he saw Joey and he said, I ain't going to get hit by him. I'm going to try to bounce this thing. He knew better. Ends up being a tackle for a loss. Great wrinkle by Babbage, the kind of thing that I like to see to just keep the offense on their toes. And what it really means to me is, how much film study is the Jets offensive line putting in? What kind of recognition do these tackles have for the variation of alignment and pressure positions that you put your secondary in?
Right. That's a good point as far as recognition off of film study. I think Babbage did some things that they didn't do in Baltimore. And by the way, that was Tre'Davious White. That wasn't Benford. So White making some good tackles in the run game this weekend, which is good to see. But yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. You have to have enough experience to where sometimes they're going to do things we don't see on film. You got to have enough sense and moxie and experience to understand how these things fit. And if you ever get to that point, it makes things a lot easier.
Well, it makes things a lot easier. You got to train your brain, right, Jerry? So look, you get down into the late in the third quarter, into the fourth quarter, and you're so tired you can barely lift your arms. The sweat is running into your eyeballs. And all of a sudden now you still have to manage to look at the entire defense, right? Once you start getting this tunnel vision, that's when bad things start to happen. The fourth, and I love this one, the fourth play that I chose, I'm just calling it flat to curl. So we got Joey Bosa. He's a great run defender, terrific pass rusher. And what are you going to, Jerry, what's going on here? He's at the bottom of the screen. What in the hell is Joey Bosa doing at the bottom of the screen?
He's obviously playing curl flat or flat curl, but me as Jerry O, I'm not happy that the guy that has been all over the top of the quarterback for the last so many quarters is dropping into coverage. But I understand why, and the reason why, if you let that play run, they are bringing pressure from the top of the screen. So they're rushing 4. They need some help in coverage, and so Bosa's going to help out in coverage. The Bills are sitting in a cover 2 shell with Rapp and Bishop deep, and Bosa helping out underneath. But just another variation of what they would call a zone blitz, where the defensive end drops and plays the zone, and the blitzer comes from the other side of the screen.
Right. So Jerry's alluding to his balance, right? So if you want to bring people off the edge on one side, you got to rotate the secondary to cover that portion of the field that's not being, zone covered by the guys that are coming after the quarterback. And if you have somebody athletic enough who understands the defense well enough, you can take a guy like Bosa. He can carry this tight end out into the flat, as he does right about here. So he gets out to about the 30-yard line, and he sees the corner is in the proper position. So what he does, he basically hands him off to the corner who's going to take the flat. And then Joey moves to the middle of the field to take the curl. So at this point, we've got four guys at about the 35-yard line, 2 in the flat, 2 in the curl. And how does this affect the play? The quarterback's looking downfield, and he might think he's got this guy open on the 40-yard line, but he also sees Bosa in place. He clutches, he holds, and then the play is dead in the backfield. So really cool wrinkle by the Buffalo Bills. Bobby Babich just taking a guy like Joey Bosa and using all the utility that he provides to the defense.
Definitely. You're playing 4 underneath and 2 high, so it's kind of like a max safety coverage in a situation where, the Jets are trying to get a lot of yardage to get a first down.
Yeah, the Jets getting a lot of yardage. How many yards did they have in the entire game, Jerry?
I believe that would be about 154, I think is what it was.
Ooh, okay, 154 divided by 4.
And I believe the 54 was in the passing game and the 100 was in the rushing game. So not a very good game for the Jets offensively after putting up big numbers against the Pittsburgh Steelers a week before.
All right, Bob tells us he had 156 in the game. Thank you, Bob. And if somebody can do the math backwards, that's less than 40 yards per quarter. Jerry, how many first downs did the Jets have in the game?
I believe that would be 9, Bob.
11.
11?
Yeah. So divide that out. Less than, wow. Is that 3, 6, 9, 12? Less than 3 first downs per quarter?
Yeah, they had 11 first downs, 5 by passing, 5 by rushing, and 1 by a penalty. Their third down efficiency, John?
Oof.
0 for 11.
0 for 11. So percentage-wise, that's like right near 0? Oh, wait, it is 0.
But they were 3 of 3 on fourth down. So, but yeah, total plays by the Jets, only 47 plays, 150 on the ESPN app. They've got them at 154 yards, because they probably took in sack yardage considerations and things like that. Just 3.3 yards per play. Just not a very good day for the Jets offense. And also you look at time of possession, they had 21 minutes, 39 seconds, and the Bills had 38 minutes and 21 seconds. So just domination across the board.
Oh, man. Hey, and thanks, Cognitive Dissonance, bringing up food. I'm getting hungrier and hungrier on my podcast, Jerry.
Well, I'll tell you what, John, bringing up food, we have to recognize the Anchor Bar. We're proud to say that the Anchor Bar, the home of the original Buffalo chicken wing, is a proud sponsor of the Overreaction Buffalo Sports Network. And the Anchor Bar, the home of the original Buffalo wing, of course, is a place for the Bills fans to go and watch your favorite teams from around the Buffalo area. Go to anchorbar.com to see all the locations. I believe they have 16 locations now, 3 new locations opening up this fall: Tucson, Arizona, John Fina, Frisco, Texas, where I will go down there and hang out and see my brother-in-law, and then Raleigh, North Carolina, which you can also hit, John, when you go to Duke games. But,
yes,
Anchor Bar is not just known for their wings. They're also known for, they got appetizers, chicken tenders, boneless wings, which are also known as chicken nuggets. But they've got pizza, beef on weck, fresh burgers, sandwiches, salads, and wraps. Great place to go. And if you want to get some of their sauces and some of the things they sell, I've got their sauce in my cabinet. I keep it all the time in case I do wings. But remember, founded by Frank and Teresa Bellissimo in 1935, the Anchor Bar initially specialized in Italian cuisine, and they gained national acclaim when it invented the original Buffalo chicken wing in 1964. It continues to be a local treasure, and it is a must-visit for food lovers. So check out the Anchor Bar, and we're proud to say that we are sponsored here on the Overreaction Buffalo Sports Network by the Anchor Bar, and we appreciate them very much.
Awesome. Go Anchor Bar. Go Wings. Go Wings. I got to bring this comment up. Trubisky had more yards passing in one throw than Fields did in the whole game. Thank you, Daniel. Oh,
and by the way, that was a seed.
That's gonna hurt.
That was an absolute seed. And I go back to this before we get to our last clip. I go back to that whole Trubisky, debate about, well, should we get rid of him? Should we keep White? Should we bring somebody else in? The backup quarterback spot is a crazy position. You never know when you're going to get called on. You never know the situation. While Mitchell might not have been a great starting quarterback in the league. He's got all the qualities to be a great backup. He's got a ton of games and plays under his belt. And by that pass, you can tell real quickly that he's ready to roll if we need him. And he was this weekend. So good stuff by him.
Good point. Jerry, I want to set my last clip up a little bit here by giving people a little bit of insight into the true nature of offensive linemen. Like we're big and we're mean and we work our butts off, and on the field, we're always looking to knock somebody out, always looking for work. But to be honest, we've never seen a couch we didn't want to lay down on. We never saw a bucket full of Anchor Bar wings that we just didn't want to devour and finish off with a pizza and a Dr. Pepper and kick back on the couch and get a little bit lazy. So with that in mind, what we hated as offensive linemen were guys that just were relentless, like Hoyt, right? Like Joey Bosa. And this clip is particularly annoying if you're an offensive lineman. Let me show you why. So Joey is a little bit stymied at the beginning, Jerry, and then you tell me, what does he do that just makes you just want to throw up right here as far as being an offensive lineman? He's on your right side of your screen. I'm going to run it.
He gets chipped on the tight end, gets off, and then he pursues all the way down the field relentlessly nonstop. So when the cameras, when the tackle's finally made, the camera's turned off, his picture is in it.
That's right. And the next part about this is he's kind of shut down here. He gets chipped and he's got to do a full restart, right? Now, if you count down, everybody's trying to get rid of the ball, what, Jerry? 2.7, 2.9 seconds. Yeah. So right now, Bosa has no chance, right? He's not going to get there on a traditional pass rush, but the kind of effort that he gives, but I want you to watch his hands. Like a lot of guys, when they get to this point, they're just going to reach out, put their hands on your shoulder pads and kind of give you this minimal bull rush and take the rest of the play off. But if you watch just a little bit of hand work right here by Bosa on Membo, everything you don't want to see as an offensive tackle. He's continuing to work the pads, work the hands, and he's putting himself in a position when the ball should have been long gone to affect the play.
You know, and the thing about Bosa is he's got everything. He's got size, length, strength, speed. So even at the age of 30, you can see what type of player he is. And if you were to really ask Brandon Beane, as much as we love Groot and Groot does a good job, I think Beane was hoping or is hoping that Groot, and especially watching Bosa and learning from Bosa, develops more of the repertoire that he has as opposed to the hop around style and swatting hands of Von Miller. I always believe, and it's just my opinion, that great pass rushers, their pass rush is built off of a strong bull rush. It's built off of power to speed, speed to power. You got to have the change up. He's got the change up. He's healthy. He's happy. And we're starting, right off the bat now, second game, we're seeing the benefits of a healthy, happy Joey Bosa in this defense.
Right. And the end result of this play, Jerry, is not what I wanted everybody to see and everybody to look at. But the handwork, the hand jive, where late into the play, he's still working and doing things that most offensive linemen feel quite offensive about, actually. So, I'm a huge fan. The play didn't end the way we wanted it to. That's the problem for somebody on the outside. It's hard to keep contained when you're in there. I don't put that on Joey. But the skill set is what I wanted to highlight. Buffalo Bills fans, this is what you got. You got a complete player. Let's keep him iced down. Let's keep him in the whirlpool, the hot tub, on the anti-inflammatories, wrapped in bubble wrap, whatever you want to say. But a healthy Joey Bosa is going to bode well for, all the Buffalo Bills going late into the season.
Exactly. And, hopefully this week we can have a game, a type game like we did this past weekend, because being Thursday night, having such a short week, it would be nice for the Bosas of the world and those guys to get out and not have to play as many plays, not have to have as much wear and tear, because you start worrying about older guys transitioning to short weeks and things like that. Have they had enough time to truly recuperate and stay injury free? So hopefully we have another performance like we did in New Jersey, not New York, to where we can get these guys off the field And I'm glad to see somebody finally. I don't know if you saw the Daily
I
News
did.
in New York. Somebody finally said it. Thank goodness.
I
Goodness.
love that.
New
Yeah,
York's
called him out as
yeah. New York's
say it.
New York's only team wins in New Jersey this weekend, 30-10.
I loved it. I loved it. So the point of this pod was to bring you Joey Bosa and some of the things that we see when we look at film. And we're not wizards. Everybody out there, if you want to take the time, you have the time in your day and you subscribe to the All 22, you could just pick a player a week somewhere in the interior and watch it a little bit and kind of riddle it out. Jerry alluded to some of the cool blocking schemes that the Bills had in for this game. They had like an inside power play that was pretty cool. They unfortunately ran a QB counter with James Cook as a lead blocker. I don't know if you saw that one. That didn't work out too well. But by and large, you saw the linebackers filling hard. You saw great tackling from Rapp and Cole Bishop. And this isn't a difference, Jerry. You tell me. These guys came up and they played football from the secondary. These linebackers, they came to the line of scrimmage, and they played much tougher football. It's not because the Jets guys are lesser than the Baltimore Ravens guys. It was more ravenous, to use the Ravens name in my description, that they were just playing more aggressive, more gap control, stronger at the point of attack. Would you agree?
Oh, without a doubt. And I think McDermott did a great job this week when he said, hey, this is going to be a hard week. I mean, we got some tough people, got to hear some hard things, and they got to understand what we need to do, because you don't go from giving up almost 300 yards rushing to 100 yards rushing, especially this isn't a dog. I mean, this is a team against the Steelers who have been known throughout history as a tough team to run on, and they have a ton of success. And then you're playing the Bills, who just gave up, like I said, damn near 300 yards to the Baltimore Ravens, and they come in and shut you down. You don't do that just because you think, oh, yeah, we need to play better this week in the run game. You got to put the work in. And I think McDermott made his point. And with simplification inside, with the young tackles rotating in with a couple of vets, Zion Logue, and then you go ahead and some guys that maybe didn't quite check the boxes the week before, decided that, it's important that we do. All of a sudden, wow, we could actually play the run a little bit. So, it would have been a little bit tougher game, I think, if the quarterback was better, because there were some throws there to be made. But I think that McDermott and Babich and them made a business decision that we are going to stop the run no matter what, and make sure that they have to beat us at the quarterback spot, and that's not going to happen.
You brought up a great point, though, Jerry. Having doing this podcast and reviewing the vast majority of the film, you're taking another look at it. And I know everybody gets lost in the emotion of watching the game while it's happening. But when you go back and you digest the film, I'm looking at Josh in the first quarter with some really awful overthrows. And
right.
I was just like, it's that excitement about playing the Jets in New Jersey, in the shadow of Manhattan, where they are not from. And, just kind of taking some time to settle down. Josh missed a number of throws, but I think the difference is Josh evened it out, made great throws, made smart decisions. And our run game just was, way better than theirs. We shut them down. We imposed our will on them in the long run. And it was truly great effort from top to bottom from this roster. You are listening and watching the Sahlen's Off Tackle Show with John Fina. Thank you, everybody. And in the comments, God, we have such great comments. I want to put everybody's up. All of our traditional Daniel Gowries and Richard Rush and Maggie and Tracy and all the regulars are there. Tell your friends, come join us in the podcast. We'll put your comment up there. You can take a shot at me or Jerry, preferably Jerry or Joe, since he wasn't here.
Joe.
But yeah, Joe for sure for not showing up. But we love you guys. We appreciate you. Share our podcast with a friend. Give it another listen. We really appreciate it. And Jerry, I think that takes us to the end. What are your last thoughts?
Last thoughts are I'm excited about Thursday night. Really
Yes.
am. I think this is an opportunity for the Bills. They're getting it's a Thursday night. We don't like Thursday night games as players, but they're much more manageable when you're playing them at home. You've got a team that's come off of 2 big wins, a chance to go 2-0 in the division. Try to get the final swipe at the nail in the coffin with the Dolphins. I would be really, really shocked if this team wasn't excited and up for this game. You know, it should be a good one. Or when I say a good one, hopefully good for us and bad for them. Now, there are a few things that still concern me. I don't know if we have an answer for Miami's speed. Hopefully that, you know, they still have an issue with Tyreek to where they're not meshing. Hopefully we can get hits on Tua. That always helps us. But, no, it should be a great game. Excited for it on Thursday night. I know the Mafia will be out. That stadium will be rocking as we get ready to close the door and walk across the street to that monstrosity that is just one of the baddest looking things I've seen in quite some time. I'm so excited to get in there. Believe me.
Yes. Jerry, I shortchanged you. Tell us what's happening on the network for the rest of the week.
Okay, we've got On the Beat tomorrow, and I think it's Elena Getzenberg will be on tomorrow with Joe on the Beat show. Then Wednesday night, we'll have my new show. It's going to be called 7 Days to Sunday.
Oh, what a great title.
7 Days to Sunday, a Buffalo football podcast. And basically myself and good friend Zig Fergassi, who's on the Sirius XM NFL channel, has been on there since the inception of the channel. He'll be on with me. We're going to talk about the week that is, the week that was, and kind of a player's view of what the Bills are going to be thinking as far as, you know, short week. How do you go about that? What are the logistics, things like that? We're looking forward to it. Obviously, we're kind of, you know, making an audible in the middle of the season, so it'll take a minute or two to get everything really honed in. But we're looking forward to it. I love Zig to death. He's a good person and Buffalo native also. So we're looking forward to it. And that'll be actually taped on Tuesdays and will drop right off the bat Wednesday mornings at like 6, 7 o'clock Eastern time. So on your way to work, getting ready for work, whatever, you can listen to the pod or watch it on YouTube, and should be a good one.
And I'm not sure if we'll have it this week, but check out Anthony Marino on the
Yeah, we will.
walkthrough.
It will be on this week. It'll be on Thursday morning, I believe.
Terrific. So while you're getting hyped up,
And then
for that
Mafia,
game,
and then we're gonna have, I think, 2 Mafia bet shows as well. So Joe will be on.
That's right. Dan, Freddie, and the Mafia
Dan
Bets.
Freddie, Mafia Bets. So
Jerry, final question: is there anywhere else in the world you need to go to get Bills content other than the Overreaction Buffalo podcast?
I think we got it covered, my man.
We got it covered. We got you covered, baby. Again, thanks for everybody showing up to the show. Share it with a friend. For me, for Jerry, for Joe, for Anthony, for Freddie, and for you, our wonderful Bills Mafia. Jerry, what you got?
Much love. Go Bills.
Go Bills.